So I uploaded a best loadout video yesterday, and it just happens to be my luck that a couple hours after I upload that video, the Helldivers 2 development team releases a big balance patch, pretty much rendering my previous video obsolete. So we're going to go through the patch today that they released, and I'll give my thoughts on their balancing. They also released a pretty big blog post that I'll go through as well. So starting off, they said they issued a patch for PC players and the PS5 patch coming soon that introduces planetary hazards, balancing updates, and more. And then they said regarding some of the changes, designer Alex K has a few written words on how they approach balancing in Helldivers 2. So she said, "This is the first round in a never-ending series of balance changes, and we believe it's important to be completely transparent about our approach to the game balance, especially when it comes to weapons and stratagems that you have strong opinions about. Our goal is to give you a wide range of weapon choices where each gun has its purpose and none is strictly better than another. Sure, you'll have your own favorite, but it should come from your personal preference, not from universally agreed upon knowledge on which gun is the strongest. Generally, they balance each item according to its quirks, so if a weapon is very effective at what it does, it should come with a significant disadvantage to balance its power." Generally, I would agree with this idea to balancing. It makes multiple guns interesting. You don't have everyone running the same gun, and I really hope that they manage to pull this off. This can be hard, and especially nowadays, everyone's pretty much a meta slave, but I do like this general idea or philosophy to balancing. So they said the AC-8 autocannon is a good example of a well-balanced weapon. It packs a powerful punch, has a very good range, but requires you to carry an ammo backpack or have a friend assist you. The GL-21 grenade launcher is the opposite example. It's a good general purpose weapon that gives you so much flexibility, but it obviously can't deal too much damage without becoming overpowered. I would argue that the autocannon, while good early game, becomes completely obsolete to the railgun. And also I think that the autocannon probably shouldn't be reflected off of charger armor, stuff like that. But then they said, but weapons that are both powerful and versatile become a no-brainer choice during the weapon selection phase. It robs you of your own agency as stale meta builds force you to make an unfair choice between a fun weapon and an effective one. Definitely felt that in the past few weeks. And in short, powerful weapons can't be too versatile, and versatile weapons can't be too powerful. Having said that, after analyzing player feedback and the data they collected over the past month, they found the three biggest offenders of that principle were the breaker, the railgun, and the shield generator backpack. They said that all three of these were quite strong, with too little downsides overshadowing other options on higher difficulties, so with this patch they're getting significant downsides to balance their power. However, they strongly believe that these changes won't ruin this build, but rather help the affected items find their place among the other options and stay effective in capable hands. So I haven't gone any further, but the first thing I would say is I was really hoping that they wouldn't nerf these guns. They do feel amazing, and maybe they did need small nerfs, and I haven't seen what they are yet. But even using the meta loadout, if you're playing with randoms, which I think the majority of people do, and you're using the meta loadout, it's still hard to play on Helldive difficulty. It's no easy thing. Even playing in a group where they're not all the best players, but they're still decent and we're all communicating, we will run out of all of our reinforcement tokens when we're playing on Helldive difficulty. And sometimes we just play on lower difficulties just to have fun, because a lot of us are maxed out now, so there's no reason to grind for anything. And I was hoping that they wouldn't nerf the weapons. I really think that other weapons could have received a buff. Anyways, they said that on a more personal note, I know that having your favorite toy nerfed absolutely sucks, and investing countless hours into mastering a weapon is an incredible dedication from you, which is the main reason they're making this game in the first place, and then having a weapon weekend feels like a punishment for being too good at the game. But I implore you not to compare a changed weapon with its older version, but evaluate the existing one as it is and see if it still has a place in your heart. We thank you for your dedication and commitment to spreading democracy in the most optimal way possible. Now it's up to us to make it as fun and entertaining as we can. Oh, and they buffed a bunch of weapons as well. There we go. That is great to say. Thank goodness. They had an additional note from AHGS Fluffy on the railgun's balancing changes. The railgun was overperforming in its ease of use and convenience. We therefore made it so that the safe mode of the railgun is not able to penetrate heavier armor, but the unsafe overcharge mode is still able to penetrate the heavier armor. That's great. In addition, the damage that the railgun does to massive body parts is reduced, meaning you need to land headshots and other specific weak point shots for it to have maximum efficiency. Also great to see that. I like changes that make it a skill-based thing instead of just overall nerfing a weapon. So then we have the full patch notes to go through. So basically they said that planetary hazards are active. Many planets now have additional environmental challenges that will appear at random while you are deployed, from tire tornadoes to meteor showers and many more. That sounds absolutely amazing. They said that they balanced Eradicate missions. Eradicate missions now require more kills and enemies spawn more often. The time to complete the mission was previously shorter than intended and now should take twice as long to complete. So Eradicate missions on Helldive was the easiest way to farm XP, medals, pretty much everything. It was the best way to farm everything except like rare samples and super samples. So making them harder does make sense. The only thing I'd say with this is that medals were already pretty hard to get, but I do think that is made easier with the addition of the like dailies and the like overall operations as well. So probably not too big of a deal. So for the primary, secondary, and support weapons, the SG Breaker has a decreased magazine capacity from 16 to 13 and increased recoil. Increased recoil probably doesn't matter that much, but the decreased magazine capacity is really going to hurt. It already had magazine issues, and nerfing it from there is a little bit rough, but it's understandable. It was really strong. The SG8 Punisher, they increased the total ammo capacity from 40 to 60. They increased the stagger force, and they increased the damage from 40 to 45 per bullet. Great changes there. I think it could have used a buff, and now it does even more damage, so definitely really strong. The SG225 Breaker Spray and Pray, oh my goodness. People call this the Tickler because it feels like it does no damage. It was basically useless, so they increased armor penetration, increased the fire rate, increased the pellets per shot from 12 to 16, and they decreased the magazine size from 32 to 26. Low key, I don't think this is gonna make that big of a difference. Maybe the armor penetration was, but my biggest issue was it didn't feel like it did much damage. So I don't know if that's actually better or not, especially because they nerfed the magazine size. So yeah, I'll have to try that, but I honestly think that'll still be shit probably. Now we have the railgun. They decreased the armor penetration in safe mode. We already talked about that. We got the flamethrower. They increased the damage per second by 15%. The flamethrower is probably really good now. It was decent before, but that's a lot of damage per second increase. So the LAS-98 laser cannon, they increased damage against durable enemy parts, increased armor penetration, and improved ergonomics. Definitely have to try that out as well. May actually be good now. The shield generator pack, it has an increased delay before recharging. Not a big deal. Its recharge rate was extremely fast. It's probably still pretty good, especially because it just keeps you from being slowed and stuff like that. With the orbital 120mm HE barrage, they increased the duration of the bombardment and decreased the spread. Same with the 380mm HE barrage, they increased the duration of the bombardment and decreased the spread. That's good because both of these sucked and I never used them. Next, they had a bunch of fixes. They fixed armor rating values not reducing damage as intended. They fixed certain bug holes that were unnecessarily hard to destroy. That's so true, especially using the impact grenades. Sometimes it just seemed impossible to aim it correctly. They fixed anti-aliasing toggle not working on PS5. They balanced sliding across all planets to solve cases where the game was too dark. I never really had that issue, but I'm sure it existed. They improved the flashlight efficacy. They improved visibility during sand rain weather on Errata Prime. True, visibility really bad during the sand rain. They updated tutorial materials and lighting. They improved cases where some materials could look blurry if lighting graphic settings were set to low. They fixed the timing issue that could occur in the Extract E710 primary objective. They changed button interaction behavior from buttons and bunker POIs. Helldivers will now let go of the button after holding it for a few seconds. They fixed some cases of large assets floating in the ground beneath them. Fixed some cases of large assets floating if the ground beneath them was blown up. Helldivers standing next to ICBMs during launch will now properly get toasty with the chance of not so spontaneous combustion. That's awesome. It was pretty weird that you could stand right next to the gigantic rocket and not get set on fire. Very, very cool to add details like that, and it's great to see them doing stuff like that. They fixed unthrowable snowballs after ragdolling. Unthrowable snowballs after what is an unthrowable snowball? I don't know. They fixed being able to use grenades after drowning. That's a weird one. I've definitely drowned. Didn't try using a grenade though. Camera no longer locks onto the player's own corpse and blocking spectators mode. That was pretty annoying. Definitely wanted to be able to spectate when I was locked on my own corpse, where I had no arms, no head, and no legs. Helldivers now take damage from fire, gas, etc. generated by other players, and armor no longer stretches when dismembered. That was a weird graphical glitch. Then they have some known issues still. So picking up items from caches may cause characters to freeze in place. This has been an issue for a long time. I've never had it, but definitely been an issue for a while now. Picking up items from bunkers and caches in quick succession may render one of the items unpickable. Definitely have this one happen all the time. Make sure when you're picking up items that you pick them up slowly, one by one, and don't pick them up like one right after another. Players cannot unfriend others. Players befriended via friend code definitely had this issue. Players may be unable to select a loadout or return to ship when joining a multiplayer game session via the PS5 activity card. Occasionally, mission reward multiplier may not be multiplied. Mission objective HUD displays different numbers for client and host during some missions. Default armor is always shown while viewing the war bond, regardless of the armor that the player has equipped. Text chatbot display is obstructed by the cinematic letterboxing during extraction. Some text in the HUD/UI is missing or not displaying correctly, and players may experience issues when players attempt to log in or play at the same time. So they had login rate limiting, players may become disconnected during play, various UI issues, and some games may not be joinable by others for a short period of time. Overall, an absolute banger of a patch. It's huge. Really great changes. I like their design philosophy for how they balance things. I want the guns to be used and not just a single gun to be meta. I'm not sure I like that they nerfed them, but overall I think it was a pretty good patch. There's still a bunch of issues with multiplayer, like joining people and leaving people getting disconnected. I hope that they get those under control. But other than that, I think it was a wonderful patch. So it's great to see the Helldivers devs being on top of things, fixing things, releasing patches. Really great to see. I hope they keep it up. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and catch my future videos. I really appreciate all the support. I recently hit 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, y'all. And yeah, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.